Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another edition of the DVD Shelf for Flix, the show that would rather high-five a good movie than drill through a bad one. For today's special Halloween episode, I thought I'd travel down under for the first time to take a look at a horror film that hails from Australia. So let's talk about 2009's The Loved Ones. The story of The Loved Ones finds high schooler Brent still reeling from the sudden loss of his father in an accident he blames himself for. With prom now right around the corner, the socially awkward Lola asks him to the dance, only to be turned down as Brent is going to prom with his girlfriend Holly. This results in Brent's prom night taking a turn for the worst when Lola's dad abducts him in order to give his princess the prom night she wants, strapping Brent to a chair and forcing him to endure humiliation and torture at the hands of this psychotic father-daughter duo.
We can hear you!
This little horror film was quite the surprise for me. At this point, I think we're all used to the horror movie tropes that exist, from the hillbilly and or deformed murderous family to the strong female protagonist victim. Now, this film isn't exactly unique with some of these elements it changes, but it does make a fairly unique combination of them, from the male victim to the female psychopath. This almost feels like it's a combination of Misery and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with just a touch of American Pie. You heard me right, I didn't misspeak, I don't mean American Psycho, I mean American Pie. I say this because amongst the torture-filled macabre prom night in Lola's house, we end up following Brent's friend Jamie as he takes his date, the local cop's daughter, to prom. These scenes provide some breathers between the tense moments of the fake prom, but ultimately they offer nothing to the actual story. They're just superfluous filler. Pot-smoking, crotch-groping filler.
If you want to do that sort of thing, I suggest you go somewhere else.
Given that this film already clocks in at the low end at around 84 minutes, I imagine these extra scenes were inserted to pad out the runtime to get it closer to a normal feature-length runtime. I just wish they had some sort of actual payoff in the plot. But don't let those silly comedic moments detract from the great horror aspects of this film. Robin McLeavy's performance as Lola is wonderfully disturbing, being the self-conscious, shy outcast getting her dream prom date. It's just that she's also psychotic and her dream prom involves carving into a boy's chest. It also becomes obvious fairly quickly that her family is more demented than we first thought, and even though they never flat out tell us the hows, whys, and whens, enough hints are dropped about the past activities of Lola and her father that we have a pretty good idea of what they've been up to, but I don't want to spoil the surprise. I should also note that for a torture type of horror movie, this is not incredibly graphic. It's bloody, slightly gory even, and there are a couple of shots where we're up close and personal with the violence, but most of the more intense violence happens off-screen or just out of frame, with us usually seeing the end result only. Now, as far as special features go, this DVD release doesn't really have a whole lot to offer. There are 3 interviews that are around 7 or 8 minutes each, one with star Xavier Samuel, who played Brent, another with the aforementioned Robin McLeavy, and the last one with the special effects makeup supervisor Justin Dix. They are fairly straightforward, each giving a little insight on how it was to work on the film, with a bit of behind-the-scenes footage integrated into the interview with the SFX supervisor. This might not be the most original horror film, but writer and director Sean Byrne puts his own stamp on these tropes with some of his creative decisions, such as making the primary antagonist a shy, socially awkward high school girl. It would have made for a tighter film if the scenes involving Jamie and his date were cut, or perhaps if they meaningfully tied into the plot at all, but at the very least they provide a reprieve from the torture and humiliation Brent has to endure. Overall, this is a solid and commendable horror film, and I think you should give it a chance. And so, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 recommendation. It may not be perfect, nor wholly original, but it makes the most with what it has. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and be sure to leave a comment, high five, random phrase, compliment, or chicken leg below. And as always, be sure to visit HappyDragonPictures.com and follow us on Facebook to stay up to date with all of our releases, in addition to checking out our Patreon campaign. Until next time, this is Bright Eyes reminding you to always open your mouth for the airplane.